YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have you back here together again. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing the newest Sony Animation Netflix movie that came out on Netflix today. Well, technically yesterday. Well, I'm reviewing this the day it's released, but by the time you're watching it is being June 12th. Because I actually watched this early and I got to watch Awake and Hitman's Bodyguard early, because I had school and I was able to watch it during those times, but because we didn't have anything to do. But I actually been wanting to. I actually was kind of excited to review this movie because Sony Animation, they're kind of mixed these days. Because I mean, they're known to make some pretty terrible films such as The Smurfs, just like terrible films. So they actually make some good ones like Arthur Christmas and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but then they also make some masterpieces like Into the Spider-Verse or Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which I am yet to have seen. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just get started with reviewing Wish Dragon. Okay, so if you've watched the original film of Aladdin, the 1992 one, the Disney animation classic, you probably can see that there's a lot of similarities to Aladdin in this film. And the reason why I say in the good is because I think that they use that story template and kind of make it good, where they kind of make these characters have some meanings, have some arcs, and have this story that you kind of care about. Granted, I don't think this movie is as good as the original Aladdin, but I think this movie kind of is good. So for starters, it's about this boy named Din, who, when he was a kid, he was best friends with this girl named what's her name? Hang on, I forgot. Oh yeah, it was like Lena, but she moved away, so because her father was part of something much bigger. They had a big career planned, and like 10 years have passed, and she's hearing about her birthday coming up, being like 19 or something, and so he's preparing to reunite with her because it's her best friend. Along the way, you get this dragon that's sort of like a genie per se, that grants you 3 wishes. At first I was like, is it 2 or is it 3? And in the end it says 2. And it does it, and once again, the way it uses the Aladdin premise, I think it works just fine. But the way it kind of does it, it does it kind of new, in that when he wishes for when he wants the wishes, like, because like in Aladdin, Jafar doesn't become a bad guy until he like gets the lamp and he gets a genie. In this film, the villain of the movie with the two minions, we know he's the villain, and we know that he's gonna be after Din and the dragon. So one of the things that the dragon does is he grants Din a wish of how to fight. And honestly, even though it seems pretty dumb at first, you kind of like the action in the movie, and it goes along throughout it, because now that like, I guess the wish stays with him and he's able to fight still. And so the action in this movie was actually pretty clever and cool. And really another thing I kind of liked about the film is that when you watched it, you felt like it literally felt like Aladdin, but it felt like something of its own, where the emotions, the character arcs, the characters' journeys, they feel different from what we saw in Aladdin. Like, they feel very different. With Din, he just wants to reunite with his friend. Like, sure, they have this little romance together, kinda, but he just wants to reunite with his friend because they had this meaning for each other in when they were kids, and it's really cool. And then the mom, Din's mom is like you're an adult now. Like even the characters have different arcs than the characters in Aladdin do. So I think that they handle the Aladdin premise something like it, but they do stuff in new ways, which I really enjoy. Like they don't just they don't have Din as a guy that wants to impress the girl, but granted that's what it is, but it's everything in this movie is done in differences. It has differences but similarities at the same time. So it does different things with the story and the premise. Some of the emotions I actually thought worked really nicely, especially the way the story went as new stuff happened. There's some stuff that feel familiar, but overall, I think the way they kind of make the whole Aladdin story into this film, I thought the way they kind of made it kind of new. They made that story, they made the Aladdin story, and they kind of told something new with it. They did something new with it, and I think that's kind of what the unique part about it is. And like I said, the emotions are there, the characters are there, new arcs for the characters, and yeah. So I thought that this film handled the Aladdin story and kind of made it its own thing. So I liked that. But now let's move on to the bad. Alright, when we get to the bad, I don't have any particular bad things to say about this film, but it's really just that it copies Aladdin, and that most of the time, like I said, I think that the way they handle the Aladdin storyline and put it into this film and do something kind of new with it, I think that's unique about the film. But when you watch it, the scenes like when he's proving himself, it feels like out of place. Or when the dragon is telling Din the rules that he can't do. He can't make people fall in love with him. He can't time travel. He can't bring people back from the dead. Like, it's mostly just stuff that the genie said in Aladdin. And then, like, granted, the scene where Din is revealing himself as Din, not Dan, it's still similar to, it's kind of different where they changed that sort of scene up, with Aladdin revealing himself as just a street rat. But I just don't like how it kind of copies everything. And also, the villain, much like Aladdin, the villain's not very interesting. Well, I mean, Jafar is great. I think he's a really good villain. But this film's villain does not work. He's not very interesting. He's just that I'm going to get that dragon, and I'm going to get you. I'm going to capture all the gold. Like, that is not that's not the best type of villain to go with. So, even though it does copy Aladdin a little bit, I think the way they kind of make that story, they tell it their own way. And I think it's kind of cool the way they do that. But when you think about it, it's copying Aladdin in some ways, where they copy what stuff Genie says, what rules you can't, what wishes you can't wish for, and just some other Aladdin stuff that, yeah. So that's my thoughts on Wish Dragon. Before I give you my final score, be sure to tell me down below, what did you guys think about Wish Dragon? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? We're right there in between. And are you guys going to be watching it this weekend for new Netflix movies? With that said, let's get on with my score. Alright, so that's it for my Wish Dragon review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram is Marvel6. My TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. If you guys don't understand those games, head to my back section so you can follow me on all social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's the same name as my Instagram, Marvel_6_. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.